Thanks.
Updated guidance today from the state about a highly contagious type of bird flu now spreading across the Commonwealth.
Tonight we're getting answers from a local veterinarian about what to be on the lookout for and how to keep your pets safe.
The current outbreak is the largest in terms of its distribution and the numbers of wild birds that are being impacted in Massachusetts.
So large and widespread here in the Bay State, health and environmental officials are looking to get the word out. Stay away from handling birds or wildlife that are dead or appear sick. Out of an abundance of caution, some local veterinary practices are no longer seeing or admitting any wildlife. And while that's not the case at the Veterinary Emergency and Specialty Hospital in West Springfield, it is implementing safety protocols.
We are being extremely careful about taking in any wild birds. We are taking precautions with poultry and waterfowl that are housed outside. The pet birds that are in houses, we don't need to take special precautions with from a human health perspective, but we still want to make sure they're not going to come into contact with anything from a wild animal.
This after avian influenza is suspected in the deaths of wild and domestic birds across Massachusetts, including 2 geese found dead on the UMass Amherst campus earlier this month.
The reason it's becoming more of an issue really over the last few years, although kind of more right now, is because this is a version called highly pathogenic avian influenza.
I mean, it spreads easier?
It means it causes more issues when it gets it. So it has among birds at least, it has a very high death rate. And it is fairly transmissible.
For most pet owners, that means if your dog or cat goes outside, they could come in contact with the virus, known as H5N1. That's why state public health officials are advising people to keep their animals leashed and away from wildlife, especially cats, as they're highly susceptible to the current variant of bird flu and could die from an infection. With regards to human infection, though, the CDC considers the current public health risk to be low. Still, for the time being, Dr. Adair says we should all be mindful for ourselves and for our pets to keep wild birds, alive or dead, at a distance.
So I mean that would be the safest option, is not frequenting areas where birds outside spend a lot of time. People that come into contact with wild birds or walk through an area where wild geese are, for instance, it's not impossible that they could bring it onto the property.
State health officials are asking anyone who finds 5 or more sick or deceased birds at a single location to contact Mass Wildlife.
Some local students getting a lesson in